What's up guys? So in this video, I'm going to share the secret that I learned from spending 3 days at the Clickfunnels headquarters with Russell Brunson. And the one thing he shared with me when we were on a break that totally changed the way I think about business forever. Because if you're like me, you're a big fan of Russell Brunson, okay? I've got all of his books. I've read them all more than once. And he's an expert, he's a genius marketer, and there's so much to learn, there's so much to take in. I sometimes wish that he would simplify his advice down just for a beginner on what to focus on in the very beginning when you're getting started growing an online business. Especially if you're growing an expert business where you're gonna be a coach, author, podcaster, YouTuber, or something like that. It's so overwhelming to know what to do online when you're growing your business. You wake up every day and you're like, should I focus on my Instagram or my Facebook or my YouTube or my email list? Or is there something wrong with my offers or something wrong with my mindset? Do I need to do paid ads? Do I need to create a webinar funnel? It turns out the answer to that question is much simpler than you might think, and I'm going to share that here in a minute. But I do want to talk about the difference between a guru like Russell Brunson versus anyone else trying to get into the online business. And if you're familiar with the sport known as jiu-jitsu, it's a martial art where you get blue, purple, brown, and then black belts. It takes about 10 years to get a black belt. My brother's been doing it for about 6 years and he is at purple belt. And so it takes a long time to master this sport. Now, Russell Brunson is like a black belt, but not just a black belt, someone who has had his black belt for probably 5 or 10 years already. He is a true master. He's put in his hours in this game. And even if you were to be coached by him one-on-one every day for, let's say, 6 months, you still wouldn't be able to know a fraction of what he knows. That would be like getting coached by a black belt one-on-one every day for 6 months in jiu-jitsu and expecting to be a black belt yourself 6 months later. It just does not work that way. It takes time for wisdom to set in. And one thing I noticed when I went to Russell's office was all of the bookshelves he had filled with books. I'm talking bookshelves. I mean, there were probably 20 bookshelves in his office, and it had every marketing book you could imagine, even books that dated way back into the early 1900s. This guy has studied the subject from end to end. When you study the history of something and you see how it got to be the way it is today, that is true mastery. And you or I cannot absorb everything he knows. I wish we could. I wish we had a little pen like in the Matrix and you could download everything into your brain, but it doesn't work that way, okay? You have to put in the hours, you have to learn something, apply it, see what happens, rinse and repeat. So don't get overwhelmed and just take this game one day at a time, all right? Without further ado, let's get into the one piece of advice that Russell shared with me that made a huge difference in helping me know what to focus on. So we get to the end of one of our sessions and we're taking a break, and I run up to ask a question to Russell right after the session ends, you know, bugging him when he's probably wanting to like go get a drink of water and be by himself for a second. And he's like a super chill guy in person. He's almost kind of shy when you meet him one-on-one. But anyways, I was asking him about something like when I should write my next book, and he asked me how much my company was doing in sales, and it was at, you know, $200-something thousand per year. This was back when I was coaching people on how to invest in real estate. And what he told me is that until you're doing at least $1 million per year in revenue, you should not focus on any smaller lead magnet type stuff like you're gonna write your book or you're gonna create your course or you're gonna sell something for $47 or $97. You know, the value ladder that he talks about a lot in his books. He says that really comes after once you've hit $1 million per year. Before 1 million, all you do is you create one high-priced product and then you have a very short sales sequence that sells that. You might have a program that costs $5,000 and then you have a webinar that leads people to a phone call and sells them into that program. Or you post things on social media and you say, hey, DM me, I've got a spot open in this program this month if you're interested. So it's this very short funnel. You're not like trying to sell a $7 thing and a $47 and a $97 and a $497 and a $997 and then hit people with your $5,000 product. You're not gonna make a ton of money selling a bunch of low ticket stuff unless you have a huge audience. So that stuff really comes later in the game. Now, another thing related to this that he shared with me was the idea of battling this entrepreneurial ADD, which I know I have. I was diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, all those things back in the day. I took Ritalin and Adderall and all those different drugs to try and like make me focus. I struggle with this big time, and Russell said that he does too. And what he said is cool about this strategy is you focus on selling that one product. And once you can get it to $1 million per year, simply selling it off of like a phone call, then you can create other things like your books and your courses, and you can do fun challenges and other things that are lower ticket, free or low mid cost. And then those all ultimately lead to selling that same high ticket program. So you get to be the entrepreneur, getting excited and starting new projects all the time. And then all of those ultimately funnel to your one core offer. Now, one final thing, guys, you're probably saying, gosh, I got to wait until I hit $1 million a year to write my book? The answer is you don't, okay? I obviously didn't do that either. It's really just the best piece of advice for someone who wants to scale to the moon like Russell has. I mean, they do like $150 million a year, I think, right now at Clickfunnels. But really, you can set your target number a lot lower than that. Like for me, my bills are around $15,000 per month. That's every single thing that I pay for, like including saving money, my travel budget, investing budget, right? So everything like is 15 grand for me. So what is that? A couple $100,000 a year, right? So technically I could just get a business to a couple $100,000 per year, be paying my bills. And then from there, I could do the exciting, fun other projects, create a book, create a course or a lead magnet and funnel people to that same offer to grow it more. And you can do the same thing too. It just really depends on what your goals are. You might want to have a smaller business that's more chill and you just have like one employee and it more than pays your bills and you get to work from home or from the coffee shop part-time, have freedom, be with your family. That's usually the dream for a lot of people. And to you, I would say, just figure out what your monthly cost is that you need to be really secure and then get your high ticket offer hitting that number. So if you need to make 15 grand a month like me, then just get 3 clients a month at 5,000 or 2 clients a month at 7,500 or 5 at 3 grand or whatever your price is. And whenever you're hitting that consistently through a very simple funnel that just talks to people and sells them into your program, not trying to sell low, mid, high ticket stuff before that, then you can get creative and write your books and create your lower ticket courses. So if you want to learn more about things like writing books and creating courses, you want to check out this video where I go over the thing Brendon Burchard taught me when I got to be coached by him in person that helped me understand the power of productizing yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.